The word coach is not nearly enough to describe what Wayne Bennett does. The rejuvenation at Red Hill has been influenced and shaped by the oldest architect in the NRL. And here we are, nearly 30 years later, asking what makes Wayne Bennett great. Phil Gould sat down with the Brisbane Broncos coach.
Well, Wayne, I went on social media last night and said I'm interviewing Wayne Bennett, and I asked people to give me the questions they wanted asked. The best one was, are you feeling lucky, punk?
Yeah, I am.
You are feeling lucky?
I'm feeling lucky.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
I can go down to anyone on any street corner and ask what Wayne Bennett means to the Broncos. But in your words, what does the Broncos mean to you?
It means a club that I'm extremely proud of. It's more than a football club. And lots of things we do, lots of things here that have nothing to do with football. And I love that part of us. One of the, when we came home from America in 1988, was Paul Morgan, myself, Barry Marino went over and we went to the Denver Broncos, and a big part of their charter was charities, and they came back and they started the charities fund here, and that was the start of, from our point of view, a lot of work that we were to do over a long period of time, which we still do today, and the fund still operates today, and we help a lot of people, and our players do a lot of things as well. And I certainly do a lot when I get my spare time and that type of stuff as well. So, yeah, one of the things I love about the Broncos.
I once heard of Jack Gibson saying to a new club that he went to, and he sat down, the first thing he said is, I'm not your friend, I'm your coach. If we end up friends, that's a bonus. Can you separate friends and coaching? Is that important to do?
Yeah, I've done that all my life, so it is important, but it's not something that I work at, it's just something that I do. I don't come to work every day thinking whether I'm the coach or your friend. I just come and when I'm the coach and when I'm your friend, and if you don't, well, you better work it out pretty quick, otherwise you're going to struggle with it. But I'm not going to struggle with it because I've worked out long before.
All right, you've got a couple of good friends, I'd imagine, in Kevin Walters and Alan Langer still involved. Is it nice to have them around?
Yeah, it's wonderful. Well, particularly, both those guys, they were great players here, and I think what we've got today was as much to do with Alf and Kevin. They were just what they brought, and the way they played the game and the mannerisms they played the game with. I just loved all that and still do. So Alf was a priority from when I came back, and Kevin wanted to coach. And I made one of those hard decisions based on not friendship. A decade ago when I let Kevin go here, because I knew he needed to go away and get experience. He needed to get away from me, and he went to Melbourne. He went to the Catalans, coached at Ipswich. And we come back a lot better coach, and it's a pleasure to have him here with me now. But I've enjoyed working with him. They've been tremendous. And Alf, he just makes me laugh. I've got him here to make me happy. He's just great to have around, and look, the fans are only going to be ever really happy again when Alf scores a try with that blue shirt on one day. They're
going to give him the ball eventually.
They've got to go. It's got to come. It's just a matter of when. I reckon he's going to call it pretty soon.
Did you have a mentor or a role model when you were coming through?
Oh yeah, my uncle. I only spoke about him yesterday to a friend of mine, Eddie Brosnan. He was a police officer, and he coached us when I was 14, 15, playing under 18s, and had a huge influence on my life. Yeah, so a lot of the things, the tough love, the things that I learned off him stay with me today, particularly with football-wise and the manner we play the game and all that type of stuff.
When you see a young footballer come into the Bronco development system, 15, 16 years of age, what's the first thing you look for?
Oh, well, I look at him pretty hard. I'm probably not looking for anything in particular. I just want to see what he is and what he brings, and what's his good points and what's his weak points. And I'm probably looking at his behaviour more than anything else, because the better they behave, the easier they are to coach. And a handful off the field, but full of themselves, whatever, then it manifests itself into bigger problems later on. So, yeah, I'm just looking generally and trying to sort my head out about what I think he's got and hasn't got, and what direction we need to take him in.
After last week's semi-final against the Cowboys, I went on air and said that game restored my faith in our code. Some of the football I see played each year I don't like, but that game, the intensity, the spirit with which it's played, the skill, and just the way the players from both teams treated each other. Were you proud of what your Broncos did last week?
Yeah, I was proud of them. I'm proud of them all season, to be honest with you, with the way they've turned themselves out and the way they played. And I've loved the football they played. I mean, football's been my life. I was born a rugby league player. So it's important to me how the game's played. It's important to me how we present the game, because I haven't given all my life to it for it to be something that's irrelevant in 10 or 15 years' time. And so the style of football these guys play, and to their credit, I haven't influenced it too much in the sense I've just let them play. I think with Alan Langer, who was a wonderful, wonderful player, and people absolutely loved him. I think the best thing I ever did for him as a coach, I never interfered with what he bought. I never tried to make him something that he wasn't. And we've done pretty much the same with Ben and Anthony Milford. We haven't really imposed too much of our will on them. Kevin hasn't, and I haven't, to let them be the players that we know they can be, because they've got wonderful flair and great feel for the game, and they're young men, so they're only going to get better at it. And so using those two as the example, and they've been the spark of a lot of things we've done. So that's our challenge, is to not to overcoach them, and is to let them, all those natural things they do, let them come to the forefront, but at the same time, just tweak them where they do things that will impact on the team in a negative way. So they brought that with the way the rest of the boys have played and worked and trained to allow us to play the football that we've played. So I've been proud of that, and I've been proud for Queensland as well, because when the Cowboys
Don't
played...
mention Queensland. Don't bring that up.
Well, when the Cowboys played here last week, it was huge. It was a huge event.
It was. And the spirit of the game, the Cowboys too.
They were remarkable. To have a good game of football, you need two teams to be playing it, and they were great. I had a friend ring me through the week and said to me, you understood what that meant to Queensland, Wayne? He said, that guy out in the west that works really hard, probably drought-stricken, was really excited about that game. Something we woke up looking forward to, and had something to talk about for the whole week, about how it was played and the manner that the boys played and what both teams gave. And it's a good reminder about what it means to people.
It was brilliant. Were you expecting this sort of season?
No, I wasn't. I didn't know what I was going to get, actually. We'd made a couple of tough decisions in the off-season, let some players go here, and, so I depleted the squad a little bit. But I thought it was also strengthening the squad, because I didn't think they were the right fit for the place. And so we did all that, and after that I didn't really have any idea. And then Darius did his Achilles in December. That was because I knew he was going to be pretty important to Anthony and Ben Hunt, with a bit of advice, help out there on the field. But we went for 7 or 8 weeks without him, and we won a lot of games without him, and that was a great boost to everybody, I think. And we started to realise we're probably a better football team than we thought we were.
Well, I've watched it evolve during the year, and I've always had in the back of my mind, geez, they're going to be good next year, when these kids get a year under their belt.
Yeah.
But you're sort of close now. You want to have some success while you've got this opportunity.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you're that close, it's, kind of hurts a bit thinking about how close you are, and you don't want to miss the opportunity now. So you're right. And as I said, none of us thought we'd be sitting here week off last week and playing the prelim final and playing in Brisbane. So.
Your opposition this week, the Roosters?
Yeah, well, they've been one of the team. Well, they were one of the favourites before the season started, and they've remained that all the way through. They've been, it's probably them, the Cowboys, and no one was sure about South Sydney whether they could back up or not, and they did self-destruct in the end. But the Roosters have been there all the time. We've never been mentioning that type of ilk of the Roosters, and even the Cowboys to that extent. So nothing's changed. I still think they are the premiership favourites, and Melbourne's done well in the last month. They've won some. They've beaten us all. They've beaten us, the Cowboys, and the Roosters in the last 3 weeks. So you can't underestimate what they can do either in the next game as well.
Was there a game in particular this year where you thought, we're a chance? You went down there to Sydney for a week and you played against the Roosters and South in the space of a week.
That was a moment. Yeah, that was the best 5 days I've spent here this year. And I walked away from there. Lost one game by 2 points, comprehensively won the other, and it was just waiting for the playoffs.
So your team's ready?
Team's ready.